Hello, everyone. Decided to do a new thing on YouTube just to follow my picks and everything and see what other people think. Especially for betting wise. It's nice to get other people's view and see other aspects of the game. So the first game we have is tonight on Thursday. We got the Giants versus the Eagles. Possibly one of the worst divisions in the NFL currently at this moment. Uh, each team in the NFC East have a possible chance to win the division still. This game will be pretty huge for both teams as both teams have one win. The Eagles have shown some progress throughout the last few weeks. They came back against the Ravens and only lost by a few points. That leads the question, will the Eagles be the number one team to beat in the NFC East? If the Eagles do lose here, it becomes a big concern in where they will go. And I believe they have a injured tight end, which could be a downfall. Miles Sanders may or may not play. It's a pretty big deal for the Eagles. They really need to come up with this win here. And another thing is a lot of fans of Eagles I know have been wondering, when will Jalen Hurts play? It's only a matter of time. I believe Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback. Eventually he just comes in and does pretty decent. Obviously he's a rookie. He will make mistakes, but I believe he'll do a lot better than the current QB situation. Giants, on the other hand, are just disaster. They barely squeaked out a win against Redskins, which they probably should not have won. But Redskins decided to go for a crazy 2 point conversion to win the game and failed. My pick here would have to be the Eagles. I think the Eagles have an overall better team. I think they finally go ahead and stay ahead in this game. I believe they'll win possibly by 10 to 13 points. Our next game, it's crazy, crazy game. Both the Lions and the Falcons coming off pretty outstanding wins. Oh, the odds are wrong right here. Mix it up. But the Falcons got a new coaching staff, and I believe last week may have proved that it might have worked. Lions have been using their new rookie running back Swift quite a bit. Uh, he may see a lot of touches here against the Falcons. It could possibly help the Lions determine a win, or Falcons are just going to go on a streak. Uh, I believe their coaching staff has done a good job last week. Let's see if they can continue it. I would take the Falcons in this one, probably by 6. Next up, we have the Bengals and the Browns. Crazy division with the Browns and Steelers and Ravens, and it's just outstanding. This division is turned upside down. Uh, I don't know how the Bengals started off pretty bad. They do not have a great record. Joe Burrow, though, has not been too bad. I believe that Joe Burrow will at least throw an estimated of 3 touchdowns this game, but I still think that the Browns will squeak out a win. Uh, their last meeting, Browns barely won 35-30. I think it'll be somewhat of a similar situation. Nick Chubb's still not in for the Browns, but they got Kareem Hunt that's been doing outstanding. So I will take the Browns on this one by 9. Possibly the game of the week, maybe the game of the year right now, is Steelers versus Titans. Both of them undefeated. Crazy outstanding games. Both playoff contenders. I think we could see a lot in this game. Steelers definitely have the overall one of the best defensive in the NFL right now. But Titans also have one of the best offense running under Tannehill. The question is, which team will play better in this game, defense or offense? I believe Titans O line will have to step it up here in this game to stop the Steelers. Steelers have been putting a lot of pressure on teams. I believe they have the most sacks in the NFL currently right now. The downfall is Steelers are without their linebacker Devin Bush, which has been a huge key player in their defense. But I'm still gonna go with the overall better team here, and I'm gonna have to pick the Steelers. Claypool and Connor and everybody in the mix has just been outstanding. Titans have been great too, but I don't believe Titans have the defense to stop the Steelers. But it'll be an interesting game to see how Derrick Henry plays in this game. If he can somehow pull off a outstanding game against the Steelers and burn their defense, I think the Titans have a good shot. But I still got to go with the Steelers, and I would have to say the Steelers by 5. Another crazy game. The Saints have a pretty huge spread here. Uh, Panthers have covered most of their spreads, I believe. They've been Panthers have been a oddly weird team this year. They're currently without their top player McCaffrey, and Mike Davis came in and still done pretty good. Saints, though, on the other hand, they've been up and down. They have a winning record currently, but their team just hasn't played to what the team should be. Uh, it's gonna be a good game, I think, but the Panthers last week showed some weakness against the Bears, and I think the Saints pull off this win. I think the Saints win by 5 or 6. I don't think they cover the spread. I think it'll be a good game the whole game. It'll come down to the fourth quarter, but I have to take the Saints to win and take the Panthers for spread. Well, next up is Bills and Jets. This is a crazy game. Obviously, the Jets, worst team in the NFL currently. Who saw that coming? Uh, but we got the Bills coming off a, a two games back to back where they lose. They played some decent teams, but the question is, how are they going to overcome their downfalls here? They got a few key players, but they don't really have anybody outstanding wise for his wide receiver besides Stephon Diggs. And Stephon Diggs is I don't see him as a deep threat or not really a big threat, but he's definitely good on the short routes. Jets, they just have nobody. They started Flacco. They started Darnold. In my opinion, they did better with Donald. And I know Jets don't have many huge playmakers. Crowder gets a lot of yards and catches normally, around 10 receptions a game, which is good for him. But he's just on a team that just can't pull anything. I don't see the Jets winning in this one. I think the Bills win by 10. Jets end up scoring points. They might start Darnold back, and they might keep Flacco. Whoever they go with, I really don't see the Jets winning. I don't think anybody sees the Jets winning any game this season. But maybe against the Giants, maybe Cowboys, Eagles. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. But I'm taking the Bills on this one. But odds wise, I will take the Jets. I don't think the Bills have the offense right now to really put up 14 points, ahead. But anything is possible. They still might do it. No matter what, Bills win just by odds. Another huge game of the week here. Not because we're very great teams currently, but this game's going to be interesting for a lot of fans to see. If Washington wins, they pretty much take first place with 2 wins. Cowboys currently have 2 wins. Winning this game will be huge for them. I understand Dak got injured and is pretty much out for season. Uh, I like the Cowboys in this one, not because I'm a fan of them, but the Cowboys just have a, an outstanding offense. Once they figure out how to use Dalton and get him and the wide receivers to get online together, Less drop passes. Elliott doesn't fumble. I think overall the Cowboys have a great team. Their O line is really bad. Their defense is one of the worst in NFL, possibly worse than NFL history currently. Like they're just not playing football. Redskins lost last week to the Giants in a questionable call to go for two instead of kick an extra point, which is I don't know why they did that. They had a chance to possibly tie for first place if they would have won that game, and it just fell apart. Uh, I don't know if it was the coaching decision or what, but that was a bad call. Um, I'm gonna have to pick the Cowboys. There's no odds on this one, so Cowboys got to win by any amount, or either team has to win by any amount. I have to choose the Cowboys because they do have an outstanding offense. They have possibly arguably the top three wide receiver combo in the NFL. Uh, with the rookie CD Lamb, he's really good. Uh, I say the Cowboys win by 13 in this one. And overall, I would choose Cowboys in this game if anybody is betting. That's a it's gonna be a good game, I think, but Cowboys just are gonna take it. This is their moment to shine. They got to rally back up. Demarcus Lawrence is back in, or should be. We'll see. Uh, let's see what happens. Now we got Green Bay and Texans. Green Bay is coming off a huge loss. Uh, I I think they're questioning what even happened. Overall, they started that game pretty good, and then they just went downhill after that. Threw a pick six, and after that, threw another pick, and it was just all downhill. They never had momentum after that. Texans. I don't even know what to say about the Texans. Last week they did pretty good. They were on line to beat the Titans, but they made a messed up play call and they ended up letting Titans beat them in overtime. Uh, it's crazy. Texans loser, top player to the Cardinals, and they've just been downhill since. I'm gonna take Green Bay on this one. I think Packers by 6, and I think overall it's gonna be a good game. And I think the score is gonna be over 45, 50 points. I just think Rodgers has something to prove this game. I know he's not playing the greatest team, but he's got to bounce back from the horrible week last week, and I think he shows the fans that he's still here. Next up, we got Seahawks and Cardinals. This is possibly another good game, division rivalry. It's going to be intense. The Seahawks are coming off a bye week. They look really good in the last few weeks. Their defense, on the other hand, has not been looking too great, but their offense, driven by Russell Wilson, is outstanding. He's dominating. He's capitalizing on the plays that he needs. The only question the Seahawks really have is can the defense sustain? That's it. Cardinals are also coming off of a huge win against Dallas. Murray only threw 9 completions, which some people, said that was pretty bad. But those 9 completions also got, 50, 60-yard plays. Uh, regardless that the Cowboys defense was secondary is pretty bad, the Cardinals still came up and won huge, even with a 69-yard run at the end with Drake for a touchdown. That it was just embarrassing. I think it's a tough game for both these teams. Uh, I want to take the Cardinals. They do live in Arizona, but Seahawks are a strong team. I believe this game becomes up to Murray. I think the score is going to score over 60 points. Really, I think it's going to be both teams high offense. Murray and Hopkins combo is just. I think they dominate here. I don't see any other outcome. Uh, I'm still picking the Cardinals, even though I talk how Seahawks are doing pretty good and stuff. The division rivalry with the Seahawks and the Cardinals are always insane. Last year, the Cardinals beat the Seahawks in one of their final games, but now they have Hopkins. Hopkins is a huge game changer for Cardinals, and he's been outstanding this year so far. Last week he didn't get as much, but he still caught a pass for about 80 yards. I mean, that was it. But look for Hopkins to be the key player for this game. It'll be all up to the defense. If they can stop him, then Seahawks win the game. If they can't, I think Cardinals win. If at the least, I think Seahawks possibly have a high chance to win, and if they do, Cardinals cover the spread by 3. Another another good, decent game. I guess you could maybe say for the Chiefs. Uh, Broncos have got most of their people back. Drew Lock, Philip Lindsay. You know that they played a good game last week. They came in the game. Looked like they came prepared. They actually beat the Patriots. Uh, it was kind of an upset. Nobody really expected it. It was overall good. Chiefs bounced back and slaughtered the Bills after their loss to the Raiders, which was a huge upset. Um, I believe Chiefs win by at least a minimum of 12. Uh, Broncos players are healing up and coming together strong, but they're really unmatched against Mahomes. Like, arguably, I think Mahomes is one of the best QBs in the NFL, and I don't really think he could be stopped too much. And some teams look to try to do that, and some come up, some don't. I believe though on the Broncos, I believe this is the week Jerry Judy gets used the most on a semi weakish Kansas City defense. This is the time for the rookie to shine and maybe show how we can play. We'll see what happens, but I'm taking the Kansas City by 12 to win and by spread. Next up, we have 49ers and Patriots. Another good, tough matchup for both teams. 49ers come off strong win against the Rams. The last few weeks, 49ers have been up and down, and this really helps them out. All their defensive players are coming up. They're all back from injury. There's number one tight end is back, and we'll just see what happens. Cam Newton's also back from the coronavirus. Last week by playing the Broncos. I think it was just overall bad game for him. Maybe I think this week you see the real Cam Newton. But I don't think it's enough to win the game. I believe 49ers just have overall the better defense. I know Patriots have Stephon Gilmore and a few other good key playmakers, but I think 49er defense with Bosa and Sherman and all of them, I think they just come up huge in this one. They really need another win. I really think the 49ers cover the spread, and I think they win by 10 to 11 points. Uh, if if Patriots do win, I just think that the only chance they have is to come up with a high offense, and I believe they got to capitalize on almost every drive they have and see what happens. But I'm going 49ers. Then we have the Jags and the Chargers. Now this is a crazy game. You know, Jags are 1-5, Chargers are 1-4. It's just crazy. Something happened to Bridgewater, and it allowed Herbert to get the starting role, and Herbert has played an excellent game of football. Coming in as a rookie, taking on a Chargers team and trying to lead them, but I believe the Chargers defense is just falling apart. Like they started off good at the beginning of the season, like their defense looked like it was going to be really strong, and then they just went downhill. But the games that they did play, they played a lot of good QBs. Mahomes, Brady, Breeze. Obviously, arguably the top, pretty much the top three QBs in the NFL. Um, I don't even really know who to pick too much here. I want to say Jags, but I want to say Chargers. I really have to go with Chargers here because the Jags just haven't showed anything. They they're running with Robinson as running back still, I believe, and he hasn't really shown much. You know, Cole has came around, been catching some plays, but I just don't see the Jaguars winning this one at Chargers. I see Chargers winning. I'm not sure if they'll cover the spread. This is a game I'm kind of unsure of. I think if Chargers win, it'll be by 7, but there is a possibility that they come out stronger than that, the way the Jags have played. But we'll see what happens. I will take the Chargers here, but not by spread. I would take and risk the spread on the Jags. All right, another good game. I think this is another game of the week to me. Buccaneers coming off a huge win against Packers. Raiders, the last they played, I believe they had a bye last week. I'm not too sure. I think, or they played the game late. But the last game they played the Chiefs and they upset them. And that Raiders are coming off and feeling strong from that. I think it helps them in their heads, you know, to start playing better and they come around. I think they play a decent game of football here in this game. Unfortunately, I am not going with the Raiders this week. I have to pick the Bucks. I think the Bucks defense overall is just really good. Once they come together and once they start to play, I think they're there for the whole game. Offense wise is decently strong with Brady. You got Evans, you got Godwin, you got Gronkowski. I think their offense is pretty decent too. But I just think the Buccaneers defense just really holds them out on this game. And I think the Buccaneers win by 10. But I think Raiders will. I think they'll keep up the fight at the you know first 2 or 3 quarters, and then they fell after that. I see Raiders trying to use Ruggs a lot more and try to get him implemented. I think he's arguably one of the better rookies, that came from the draft. I really believe that they got to figure out a way to get him rolling. I think once they get him rolling, along with Josh Jacobs, I think the Raiders will become a good team. I'm not too well known on their defense too much, but I believe most of them are pretty young. They look good for a young team, and they're only growing. So look for this game to be some key plays for them. They could pull off the upset, but I don't see them winning. I think Buccaneers take it by 10 based off their defense. So betting wise, I take Buccaneers to win and Buccaneers to cover spread. And finally, the Monday night game. This is a crazy game because this is one of the first and only teams that you rarely see that are 5-1 coming into a game and being the underdog. It is at the Rams. Rams last week just looked pretty bad against the 49ers. I was expecting Rams to at least capitalize and be able to beat the 49ers by at least a touchdown. That didn't happen. Um, I think Rams are going to try to bounce back this week, but I don't think the Rams have the greatest of running backs. I think that's a downplay for them by them getting rid of Gurley, even though Gurley hasn't really done too much on Falcons this year. I just think they need a stronger running back. Uh, Henderson is good, but I don't think he can break through some of these lines. I think the Bears' defensive line, might do pretty well this week. Bears under Nick Foles has a new momentum to the team, and it feels like watching their games, a lot of their players have more heart now that Foles is under. A win here will help a lot in their division, and I think it puts them at one of the hardest teams to beat if that's the case. Uh, but one big question is the Bears O line. Can they hold Aaron Donald? I think the key for Bears to win this game is stop Aaron Donald. Don't let Aaron Donald in. If the Bears can do that, I believe the Bears take the game. I want to say they win. They definitely cover the spread. I think a 6 spread for the Bears in this game, being an underdog, have 5-1. I just believe you got to pick the Bears in this one. Uh, Let me know what you guys think. If you do check this video out, your ideas or your reason why you're gonna pick some games by the odds or spread. Just let me know. I'm trying to get better at this. And I'm making my own personal picks per week. I'm doing better. But I'm missing it. I'm missing it by 1 or 2 games. I could be making 20 to 100 grand right now, but no, I'm missing most of my games by 1 or 2 games, and it really sucks. You know, it's teams that should be covering and winning, and they just aren't. But thanks for watching. If you do watch this, appreciate it. Let me know what you think. See ya. Another thing I forgot to mention was that the 4 teams on bye week. Weird, huh? Well, I gotta say the Vikings are out of this list are obviously the losers here. You know, they lose a top player to the Ravens in a trade, and it, week 6 was just horrible. How do you lose to the Falcons? Uh, the team of the bye week, I want to say, will be the Dolphins for me. Tua actually gets to practice right now, and he may actually start. I haven't followed it too much, but this is what they were talking about, and he might start over Fitz. It'll be interesting to see how he plays. I think Tua is possibly one of the best rookie QBs that came into the draft. I want to see how he plays. I think him and Jalen Hurts are the top 2 in the draft, in my opinion. I mean, Burrow's good too, but I just think these 2 are better, you know, in ways. They just didn't have the opportunities that, Burrow had in college. You know, he played for a better team, had better players, but it happens. It's college. But now we might get a shot to see Tua and how he does, and I think this will help Tua out a lot as a rookie coming in, starting on the Dolphins. Dolphins may possibly win their division. They are still up there. This will be an interesting division to watch as the next few weeks. Colts, you know, Colts are up and down. Can Philip Rivers really carry the team? And the big question is, where's Ty Hilton? Ty Hilton used to be one of the top wide receivers. He's been a nobody. Like he hasn't really done much this year at all, and it's kind of sad. But the Colts do have an inspiring young running back in Taylor, and Taylor is he's a beast. I think he's really good. And the Ravens, of course, Lamar Jackson, possibly the league MVP again. Lamar Jackson currently is on fire. He's still running the ball, getting touchdowns, scoring touchdowns on passes. Currently, the Ravens actually, I believe, are signing Des Bryant to their practice squad. They may add him to the team, and well, you never know what can happen. I think if Ravens do add Des Bryant, adds a little bit more talent to their wide receiver core, and actually helps their team out a bit if he stays healthy. This could be something interesting to watch and look forward to in the next coming weeks.